successes and failures. They have been inventors, adventurers, journalists, educators, entertainers, entrepreneurs, activists, professionals, and enthusiastic amateurs. Since the 1890s, they engaged in a visual give-and-take with the past, present, and future, revealing and affecting America's evolving identity. The first movies were images of the real world before they conjured fictions. America's nonfiction film tradition continued from the earliest days of the 20th century through World War I. The birth of mass media in the 1920s, the Great Depression, when politics on the left and right fought for the future, the destruction and triumph of World War II, when some of Hollywood's greatest directors turned from fantasy to facts, the hope and uncertainty of the 1950s, the social and political turmoil of the 1960s and 70s, and the communications revolution that led to a 21st century generation of media-empowered but divided Americans. Yet even when accurate information was more abundant and easier to access, a documentary-inspired mutant, reality TV, flourished. At the same time, simulations became immersive and truth more uncertain. Although this book isn't about me, to get started, I hope an overview of my decades of experience as a documentarian can serve as an author introduction and a source of historical context for the admittedly selective list of films and filmmakers included in the chapters to come. I was raised in the 1940s and 50s in the Los Angeles suburb of North Hollywood, in a valley on the backside of the Hollywood sign. My awareness of movies extended beyond the walls of the local El Portal Theater. A friend of my architect father worked at Warner Brothers as a film editor and producer of Bugs Bunny cartoons, but I enjoyed listening to him talk about his 86 missions as a combat photographer in World War II and his peacetime experiences as a newsreel cameraman who recorded an early atomic bomb test. At Saturday movie matinees, I laughed at Abbott and Costello and Martin and Lewis comedies, but was also attracted to the urgency and variety of newsreels and short subjects, which were already disappearing from theater screens. My first encounter with television was in 1949, when thousands of Angelenos were transfixed by hours of live images of desperate efforts to save a little girl who'd fallen into an abandoned water pipe, a forerunner of televised real-time dramas to come, including car chases and engrossing courtroom deliberations. In the 1950s, during the day, along with cartoons and puppet shows, TV stations broadcast films retrieved from long-ignored vaults, rescreening the 1920s and 30s adventures of African explorers Martin and Osa Johnson, and stirring World War II propaganda films like Hollywood director Frank Capra's Why We Fight series. I found them exciting. The father of a high school basketball teammate was the writer-narrator for Walt Disney's True Life Adventures wildlife programs. I watched the amazing footage of animals that seemed to act like people, but I was also interested in the cultural TV program Omnibus and the docudrama You Are There, which blurred fact and fiction by reenacting historical events as if they were news reports. Victory at Sea was a stirring saga of naval warfare in the Pacific, and the CBS historical series The 20th Century, hosted by Walter Cronkite, was a special favorite. At Oberlin College in the early 1960s, I had vague ideas about being a writer and maybe something to do with filmmaking. Since there were no film classes, I learned about movies by reading and volunteering to be the film critic for the campus newspaper. It was an exciting time. Artful international imports challenged Hollywood, and a new kind of nonfiction, cinéma vérité, captured an unprecedented sense of being there. In 1963, documentarian Leo Hurwitz, famous for his anti-fascist and pro-labor films from the 1930s, a time when documentaries were wielded like weapons in a battle for social and political change, came to Oberlin to speak about his work. I agreed with the politics, but confessed that I thought his storytelling was too agitprop. When I revealed my interest in finding a summer job with a documentary film company, Hurwitz could have told me to have intercourse with myself, but instead he provided a name at David L. Wolper Productions, a new studio in Los Angeles that challenged the networks with documentaries audiences wanted to see. Wolper didn't have a job opening, but a referral led to the Film Canyons of the Sherman Grinberg Film Library.